Good afternoon. Took a trip to Edinburgh yesterday, stayed overnight, and got off at Haymarket, as it were. Went to the cash converters, which I've visited a few times. They often have stuff quite cheap, sell things quite cheaply. It's usually Game Boy stuff and quite a lot of PlayStation games, and I've often scanned down it to see whether, well, Tombi I have, but that's the one that I suppose it's the one PlayStation game that I imagine it's pure fancy. I imagine finding randomly in one of these selections the sort of thing that people might not know is worth something if they don't know what these things are worth. As seems to be true for cash converters, not to a crazy extent. It's not like they've got like things that are worth a lot of money there for pennies, but they're cheaper than elsewhere. This one is, so I think their prices are fairly, or maybe it's a cash generator, because I don't know. Anyway, they seem to be. I think they're. Let's see. I've just rolled up this sticker, so let's find out and remember what the answer is. Oh bloody hell! I've actually got the receipt over there, but this is far more interesting and doesn't involve me standing up. Oh, it doesn't say. Let's check. It is cash generator, which explains it, because cash converters in Glasgow is not cheap. And their stuff. I mean, it's not that it's shite. It's just always the same, and it's shite. Anyway, so they had quite a few Super Nintendo games there, and there's quite a few of them that were fairly cheap, or I thought pretty cheap. It turned out most of them were about level with CEX. Super Mario World for $9.99, which is a lot cheaper than it's been in the past. I think I've seen it as much as like 20 £20, so not that long ago even. So I was kind of thinking, well, if these are a lot cheaper than CEX, I could buy them and trade them in there, and it's money I would have spent there anyway. We'd only get a voucher at CEX, of course, but like, as it turns out, CEX was selling it for $9.99 as well, or £10, or however the prices work. But this was there for a good 10 or less than CEX, so that was nice. I mentioned it in a previous video because it was one of several games that I would have liked that was on sale at CEX. And this wasn't one of the very expensive ones, but all the same, it was just more than I wanted to spend, really. I was just feeling thrifty. And yeah, so this was here. I mentioned it in a previous video. I've probably said that it's a game, oh god, that I don't have an awful lot, I don't really have any connection to as such. I've played Ghosts and Goblins on an emulator before. I imagine this is not as challenging because 8-bit era action games are kind of unrivaled in their unforgivingness. So this will be, the 16-bit game is going to be hopefully slightly less punishing. But yeah, I look forward to playing it. That's about it. The only thing that comes to mind. to say is I remembered I mentioned in a previous video, Skies of Arcadia for the GameCube was one of the games that I saw there. I think I said it was £35. I think, mistaken because I went past and it was £65. You know, after saying that, so I'm very sorry. I redact that statement. Is that redact? Is that what I mean? Anyway, I now have 2 subscribers. I have no idea how they've found this channel against my best efforts. I've told a couple of people that this channel exists, but just purely out of sort of vain glee, like, I've got this channel, it's a secret. Not told them anything else about it, really. Not told them how to find it. A few friends of mine who I think when I told them, it was a bit like, "Oh my god, of course you do that." That's what I would picture you doing. Anyway, that's my story. 2 subscribers. Super Ghouls and Ghosts. I'm gonna go stick this in a drawer.